Yeah, I started. You can ask.
So, Alex, what have you been working on?
Yeah. So we call ourselves Odd Statue Games. We are a team of 5 people currently. We started by having the dream of creating a card game like Magic the Gathering, and then we slowly backed down to something more manageable. We examined the the creation of easy slash small board games. We published one in 2014, and then we decided to also start working on mobile games. We did our first attempt like 2 years ago with Hydro Pyro. You can find it on Play Store. And then some things changed. We stopped having a developer basically, and we decided to back down to board games. Now we're working full engines on board games currently. We still hold the dream of doing digital games, mobile games, and stuff like that, but we decided to work on our strengths, which are basically the board games at the moment. Um, we also self-published 2 print and play games, which are free for download from our website. And now we're working on our first to be Kickstarter campaign. We call
Mm.
it Riverbed Hunt now. It's a board game for a party board game with hidden role elements and bluff elements, and it is for 3 to 9 players. And we hope to do a successful Kickstarter for this one.
Okay.
Really interesting experience, you know. Yeah,
Well, we've been around for about
yeah, yeah.
4 years or so, maybe 5. Yeah, we try hard.
By the way, I when I was looking on statuses you posted, I noticed that there are pictures from tabletop, or or it isn't. I mean,
It's a platform called Tabletopia, where you can simulate basically a board game environment and play with friends. Or there are also very popular games there which you can play. Most of them are not free, but you can gather up your friends or
mhm,
family and play there. But we use it mainly as a tool, not so much as a platform. We use it in order to host our playtest events. We used to do those things in real person ways, but COVID, so we had to figure out another solution, and it's working quite well for us so far.
mhm. I see. So
It
previous two games, board games you mentioned, you created like physically without tabletop, or also prototyping in tabletop?
No, we started working on Tabletopia since like 5 months ago.
Ah,
So
mhm.
the first 3 games. Now that I think of it, we have the first ever game that we published in 2014 was with a publisher. So
Mm,
this is also in the hands of other people. But for the print and play games, which I assume you're talking
yeah.
about, we play tested in real life, basically, for the most part. But they were also less complicated games than the one that we're making now, so they didn't require that much playtesting. This one is a bit more, needs a bit more balancing.
Hmm, hmm. And why did you decide to make mobile game in parallel? Just to try, or you wrote that you're making another game, Idle Village Traders Tycoon.
Yes, this project basically started quite a long time ago. Um, we we like mobile games quite a bit, and we also trying to find the business model that fits us and can produce some revenue, because I have not mentioned that yet, but the entire team is working full-time jobs, and on our free time, in quotes, we do this thing called Statue Games. So we are trying to figure out a way to make enough money in order to quit our jobs. And the mobile games are a bit more promising concerning this. In addition to us liking creating those things. So we set sail for this one to create a hopefully successful mobile game. But then we lost our developer, so we were hanging and we switched a bit.
Mm-hmm.
We're still working on this one. We are producing art, and in the meantime, we're looking for another developer. We have a very interesting candidate, but we're also open to anyone who's interested. Uh,
That's
yeah,
great. So you are in a typical position of indie developer who's
yeah.
struggling to find uh,
Well, I
regular.
think that indie and struggle go hand to hand, right?
Yeah, yeah, I see. Okay. What about play tests? Um, uh, for example, how many play tests do you have in a week right now, like for your game?
Right now we have two every Thursday and Saturday
Hmm.
at 7 o'clock Greek time, which is UTC plus two. I can do conversions for you if you want.
Okay. And how do you find playtesters? Hello.
I don't
Can
hear
you
you.
repeat, please?
Uh, uh, how do you find playtesters? Like, what is the
Yeah, this
process of
yeah
finding the
this is
people?
the yeah this is the toughest part, or at least used to be in the very beginning. Um, so far, from the top of my hand, I think that we have about 30 or something like close to that, 40 playtesters. Most of them are friends and family, to be honest.
Hmm.
And I think that this is the way to go, the way to start. But we also had a bit of exposure via our Facebook page, which we are posting consistently for more than 1.5 years now. Um, but yeah, for the most part, it's friends and family, and it's perhaps the most difficult thing to convince people to join your Discord server and dedicate 2 hours of their evening doing that.
Hmm. And how did you come to the idea that you need playtesters? When did you start thinking right like this?
Well, I don't think that you can create a board game without playtesting it. With mobile games, it's a bit easier for you as the player to playtest a lot, for you as the creator to playtest a lot. Most of the times, not always, mobile games are or digital games are based on a single player mode, so they don't really require things. But you cannot understand if a game made for 3 to 9 players is balanced if you don't try it with other people. So it's a necessity for board games, at least.
Oh, you mean that you started doing this? It's like a necessary process of the development of board game, and
Exactly.
and you started it doing from the first your game.
We started, you mean from our first game that we built, or
Yeah,
from the beginning of building this game?
no, from you built you from the 2014.
Yeah, every board game has its own playtesting
Mm.
cycle, let's say. But this one, our current project, is the one that we are serious about playtesting, and we are gathering people, and we're trying to build a community of playtesters, people that are interested in playtesting our future projects also. So we are doing a bit more of a marketing and branding effort now, not only game design effort by means of playtesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see. And so your Discord server is the main place where you like organizing this play testing, I don't know, communication.
Yes, we tried really, really hard with Facebook. We have dedicated lots of hours as a team to writing blog posts, writing all kinds of content, sharing images and stuff, and we have close to 700 followers on Facebook, but we we see more engagement with 40 people on Discord versus 700 on Facebook.
Mm.
So I think that Discord is the way to go for this. There is a bit of a resistance for people that are not really gamers and they don't really have Discord. There's a bit of a resistance to create an account just for us, but once they do and they enjoy playing the game, they just get back to Discord to play another time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what kind of like what places did you use to share um, information about your game? Where you can get play testers? Are there Reddit, Facebook groups, Twitter, or what have you tried?
Yeah, for the most part, it has been phone calls and personal messages on our personal social media. Like from the, let's say, 30 playtesters that we have, 25 are friends and family. So for the most part, we did it that way with personal communication. The rest of the other 5 out of 30 are friends of friends, so word of mouth, let's say. Um, we only got one person from Facebook, and we got 2 people from your server. One is Juan Gnandes. Sorry for pronouncing that wrong.
Yeah, he's here.
And yeah, I know. And the other one is Steve O.
Mm-hmm.
Both joined as playtesters, but they couldn't yet participate. So yeah, another option that we are trying to experiment with is other servers like yours, for example, other communities. We're also doing lots of effort on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
We try hard there. Um, we're getting engagement, but not playtesters yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little bit tricky, at least for my case. And I know Steve, he lives in Texas. So when you've got playtesters who, or people who are interested, but they just live literally across the entire planet,
Mm.
it can be a little bit tricky.
So you mean that this is a big problem for people to, yeah, it's actually for me the problem to join your playtest when you started doing them in your game.
Yeah, we tried to find the time that fits mostly well for Europe, but I think that it is not a bad time for US either. It's just very, very early in the
Mm-hmm.
US.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bit of an issue, but it's not like I don't know 4 a.m. It's 9, I think, or something close to
Yeah,
that.
it's 9 a.m.
Yeah, it's early, but yeah.
Yeah, and I have thought. Sorry, forgot forgot what I want to say. Yeah, and why did you try? Have you heard about subreddit, which is called Play Test My Game?
Uh, to be honest, I was not aware of this specific subreddit. We have on our list to examine Reddit, but no one is actually no person from the team is actually using it like a user, so we don't know it yet. But we know that it is a very important social media network for games let alone indie games. So it's definitely on our list, but we're trying to do steps in a way that we can handle them because as I mentioned before, we don't work full time on this thing, and we're trying to scale in a way that makes sense.
I see. Well, I definitely recommend you to post um, about your game in this subreddit and share the results here in the community. It will be interesting to see how people will respond. Um, yeah, I got another question I got about playtesters is do you track some metrics like retention or even if you have small amount of playtesters, but do they playtest regularly or they fall off sometimes and diminish?
Yeah, we're refining our processes on those areas. We don't have everything perfect yet. For now, we keep something like hand notes, let's say digital, of course, but not very sophisticated notes of how many times someone plays, because it's important for, well, what's most important for us is when a game ends, how many people want to play once again. This is very important. This is a very important metric. Also, if they tell us that they're going to join another time, this is also very important. But after each playtesting event, we ask questions. Most of them are open-ended, and a few are very specific to things that we are working on at this specific moment of time. We may be trying to refine a specific mechanism, or we may have questions or second thoughts about something, or we're trying to balance something else, and we ask questions, very specific questions that are going to help us progress and produce something better for the next time. Again, we're doing measurable steps there, manageable basically steps, which means that we almost always have small changes from playtest to playtest, but we try to do them small in order to also make sure that our changes have real effects and they are not just new games every time. But I think that I digressed. I'm not sure if what was the original question.
No, it's okay. And you say you answered it, and so you said that you making small changes and see how it will how people will react, and how did you measure this reaction?
Yeah, basically in the beginning, that's maybe an important point. When we first started working on the game, we played about 10, maybe 20 times, just the team. Because at this phase, at the very, very early phase, we had huge changes and very radical changes. We were tossing away half of the game every time because we saw things that were not working at all. But when we reached the point where it was good enough in order to expand, then we started getting people interested and gathering playtesters. And from that point on, our changes were not that huge anymore.
Okay, so you're not seeing the big dropout from your server uh,
Sorry,
while
can you repeat?
yeah, well I mean when you are not notice that people like walk away from your server after these small changes. There wasn't such an event.
Sorry, I'm not sure if it's my connection again or your microphone is kind of breaking. Is it only me, guys?
No, he also broke off for me.
Oh, maybe, yeah, sorry about it. I also on Wi-Fi. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like voice activation thing, like it was breaking from that point of view. But yeah, can you repeat one last time, please?
Yeah, I mean that. So the amount of people are, almost constant. Though you you're not you are not noticing that people leave away your server after these small changes.
No. On the contrary, most of the times they enjoy it even more next time they play. Exactly because we're making changes, like reasonable changes. Um, a lot of people are interested to see how we progressed, what we changed, how it's different now, how it's better now. So it's not our changes currently are not disappointing people. Let's
Mm-hmm.
say.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's interesting. That, well, it means that people who came to your server, they like your game actually and stick to it.
Yeah, so far it looks like it. We didn't have any person not liking the game. Like the one person that gave us a bit of more harsh, let's say, feedback is a very experienced game designer who gave purely game design feedback and
Mm.
not player feedback.
Uh, he your friend or it's a random guy?
No, it's a friend of our lead game designer.
Ah, okay, okay. And can you read like the most important questions from your questionnaire for playtesters? Like, what do you recommend us to ask our playtesters?
Well, this is a task that we are now working on and we are refining. So we don't have it down yet, at least not in a good. It's not ready yet. It's the most important thing for us to build as a process and make it more stable. But so far, I can tell you that one of the most important um, metrics, let's say, is how engaged they are while we're playing, and we can feel that from how the game goes and how much they participate and they react to things. Because as I mentioned before, it is a bluff, hidden role bluff game,
Mm-hmm.
and the personal reaction is very huge on this one. So this is one thing, and the second one is how often they, like when the game ends, if they are fine with playing a second one in a row, and if they join again next time.
Mm-hmm.
Those three things are what gives us a good indication that they had fun, they enjoyed it, and from then on we adjust things according to how we saw them reacting. We get other types of feedback also about things that they didn't like, and we examine those things. But the most important things are just knowing that they had fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
I think I need to go now.
oh, okay, okay, Joseph.
Bye.
Okay,
Yeah,
bye bye.
bye. And do you measure this engagement in a specific way, or you just mark with yes or no, like was engaged or was not engaged?
Yeah. For now, we do it mostly intuitively. Like
Mm.
if you are on the event, you can sense if somebody is actively engaged or not. But as I mentioned before, this is our priority task right now. Like we have a game design team and a more marketing team. So the marketing team is working on refining those things and creating a more standardized process. We're also creating a survey currently which we plan to share with playtesters after the event, where we can get some more, hard data on how we how well we did.
That's interesting. Like, interesting to hear your experience. Okay, I got one more small questions, but maybe Joseph left. Huang, I'm sorry if I pronounce correctly. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I got one. So you said that you're trying to get your board game kind of Kickstarter, or started on Kickstarter. What kinds of things are you doing to prep for that, or are you already in the middle of it? What does your Kickstarter campaign kind of look like?
Well, we are on the search phase, not in the pre-production or things. We are just investigating the Kickstarter world. We are doing market research and things like that. We're lots of steps behind. We're reading books on it. We're watching tutorials on it. It's our first campaign, and we don't know what we don't know. So we're trying to reduce this list of unknown things. But we are actively working towards this direction. We're just not working on the campaign itself yet.
Gotcha. Cool.
So let's. My last question was, what is your favorite social media to, you know, to say about your game? What works best for you? Like Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, or whatever.
Yeah, I would love to say that Facebook works best because we put an insane amount of time on it, but none of them works in the size that we are currently in. The thing that we saw most working best is phone calls, like personal contacts. This is the thing that worked best, and even Discord is not working that well, but we don't have lots of people there. But Discord with 40 active members works better than Facebook with 700. Twitter is Twitter is good. We get reactions, but we don't get conversions, which is actually, yeah, I'm not sure how to judge this, but maybe we're doing something wrong and we're not getting real conversions. And we also need to examine Reddit for sure. We have not expanded there yet, but yeah, I would say personal contacts and their friends. So word of mouth is what we got our best. What expanded us the most, and then Discord, and then Twitter.
Okay, I think that's a good recap for our conversation. So I have no questions more. So if there are no questions, Huang, do you have?
Sure. Yeah, I've just got one. Where are you hoping to be in 1 year from now?
Well, if I can dream a lot, um, I hope that the team is going to be employed by us. So this is for me. I am, let's say, the business guy in this whole thing. So for me, this is the most important thing. And in order for this to happen, we have to have at least one successful Kickstarter on our backs. So yeah, the goal is to nail this Kickstarter and then go from there.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's
sounds
all I
great.
got.
Okay, thank you for questions. So I wish you great success and hope that you will, release such a successful game and will continue.
Yeah, thank you. We also hope the same.
Yeah. So thank you for the conversation. It was interesting, and I'll share the record and maybe some notes. Maybe the last recap was very good. Okay, thank you. Thank you, be here.
Thank
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And if you or any of your server wants to join us on the playtesting night, I think that you're gonna have some fun. So give it a try, even just for once.
Okay, that's a good point that you know asking people to join. It's
Yeah, it's
why
a
not?
must.
Yeah, it's a must everywhere. Okay, good. So bye bye. See you next time.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Take
Talk
care.
soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.